Hi there. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about cotton. Specifically, we're going to talk about why you should never work out in cotton. I've got 6 reasons why cotton is not something that you want to work out in. All of you that watch my show know I love Alo, I love Lululemon, I love Beach Riot, and I love to work out. I teach spin. I do spin 7 days a week. I do a ton of walking. And basically from the moment I get up to the moment I go to bed, I am not sitting still. I am exercising in some way. And I can tell you from experience, cotton is the worst choice for workout clothes. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I keep watching videos online on YouTube where people complain that Alo doesn't use cotton in their clothes. Guys, that's on purpose. You don't want cotton in your workout clothes. It is a terrible idea. So, once again, we're going to talk about the 6 reasons you should not work out in clothes made with cotton, and we're going to talk about what you should wear instead. So, first reason, cotton is hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means it's water-loving. So when you're wearing a cotton shirt and you get water on it, it loves it. It's going to soak up all of that water. Has anyone ever thrown you in a pool while you were fully dressed and then you got out and your clothes felt heavy and wet? Part of that is the cotton. It loves that water. It soaks it in, which is a terrible idea when you're sweating. Imagine every single time you sweat, and if you sweat a lot and you're in a hot yoga room and a hot spin room, you are going to sweat a lot. The more you sweat into those cotton clothes, the more the cotton is going to hang on to them and the heavier they are going to get. So you do not want to wear cotton because it loves water. And because of that, number 2, you do not want to work out in cotton because it becomes heavy and clingy. Once again, remember when you got thrown in that pool and you got out and your clothes were super wet, then they're going to become heavier and heavier, and they're going to become clingy and uncomfortable. They're going to weigh you down. Imagine if you're trying to work out and you're just trying to stay light. You're trying to keep your energy levels high. But the more you work hard, the more cotton is fighting against you because it's soaking in that water, becoming heavier and heavier and clinging onto your body in an uncomfortable way. Which brings me to number 3. So the number 3 reason not to wear cotton to work out in is it causes chafing. Now, for those of you like me who do spin 7 days a week, when you're sitting up on that bike, your legs are moving really fast. There is a lot of friction. So as your legs are moving really fast, if you're wearing cotton pants, it is soaking up all of that sweat, and eventually it's going to cause chafing. And you're going to get chafing down here where you don't want it. I mean, you could get it on your boobs. For those that have ever run a marathon, know that you can get boob chafing. My dad used to wear Band-Aids over his nipples whenever he ran marathons because the cotton t-shirts he wore caused his nipples to bleed. Can you imagine your nipples bleeding in the middle of a race when all you want at that point is just to finish and you've got bleeding nipples? Imagine if you're riding a bike and you have bleeding underparts. Trust me, it is uncomfortable. And then the next morning, you don't want to get on that bike. So that cotton is preventing you from making your exercise consistent. So that brings me to number 4. So the number 4 reason not to wear cotton is it causes poor temperature regulation. Once again, have you ever been thrown into a swimming pool with full clothes on? You get out and then immediately you're cold. You're cold because you have these heavy, wet cotton clothes on you, once again weighing you down. It actually poorly regulates your temperature in not 1, but 2 ways. First off, whenever you've got cotton and you're getting hot and sweaty, you're gonna get hotter than you should have been. You're already in that workout room. You might already be on that spin bike. You might have gone to hot yoga on purpose because it's hot. But then if you wear cotton clothes, those cotton clothes are soaking in the sweat, they're getting heavier, and they're causing you to get hotter than you need to be. And the caveat to that, or the converse to that, is once you leave that workout room, you're gonna be freezing. Your body is not gonna regulate your temperature. It's gonna overheat from the cotton, and then it's gonna be overly cold because of the cotton. And you do not wanna sit in those cold, wet workout clothes. And trust me, they're not gonna dry. You do not wanna sit in those cold, wet workout clothes because eventually you're gonna get sick, you're gonna get uncomfortable. I gotta pause for a minute. My cat has jumped on to the table where I have my camera because she's a little stinker. I love you though. So, the number 5 reason not to wear cotton clothes to work out in. Number 5 is they are slow to dry. So once again, they love water. Not only do they love it, they're gonna hang on to it as long as they can. So you've gone to work out, you come back, you take your workout clothes off. I personally, as soon as I take my workout clothes off, I don't care what I wore, when I wore it, what I did, I go and I hang them up in my bathroom just like I would a towel. I lay them out as flat as possible with the goal that they dry. Because if you stick those wet clothes into your hamper, they're not gonna dry. They're gonna stay wet and it is going to ruin them. So, once again, it's not gonna dry, which is not good for your clothes. And if you watched my video on why you shouldn't dry your clothes, you'll know that cotton takes longer to dry and it's not exactly ideal for hand drying. So you have to throw your cotton clothes in the dryer. And what does the dryer do? The dryer ruins them. The dryer is where clothes go to die. So I don't like to put anything in the dryer, cotton or not, but a lot of times with cotton, I have no choice because it takes too long to hand dry. So once again, the number 5 reason not to use cotton is it doesn't dry. Sometimes I've gone to work out and then maybe afterwards I go get brunch. Maybe I didn't bring a pair of clothes to change into. Well, I can certainly tell you, I do not want to be wearing those cotton clothes all throughout brunch. You go to a restaurant that's cold and you're freezing cold because you're wearing clingy, wet clothes. So don't wear cotton. Wear something that's going to dry faster. So that brings me to my number 6th and final reason not to wear cotton. And that is when you wear cotton, there's something called odor retention. Because cotton loves water, because it soaks up all the water in your clothes, because cotton loves water, because cotton soaks up water, it soaks up sweat, and then it holds it into those clothes and it refuses to dry. So what happens? It starts to stink. Yes, it starts to stink. It gets a smell that we'll call mildew, and that mildewy smell is almost impossible to get rid of. It will stay forever, and you will smell it wherever you go. When you're wearing it, you will smell it the entire time you're wearing it, and it's obnoxious, and it's embarrassing because you're looking around going, does anyone else smell my stinky clothes? Yeah, you don't want that. Just don't stink, and then you don't have to worry about people smelling your stink. So the way to work out and not to have stinky clothes is not to work out in cotton. Once again, I bring my clothes home from the gym and I hang dry them just to try to get them as dry as possible because anything can start to stink. It doesn't have to be cotton. So you want to get it drying as quickly as possible. And then once it's fully dry, I toss it in the hamper. And then when I'm ready, I wash all my clothes. And then I hang dry them afterwards. But once again, cotton doesn't like to dry. It wants to stay wet. So sometimes my cotton, I have to hang dry and then throw it in the washer on the delicate cycle. Now I can assure you, with all of my workout clothes, especially my Olo, especially my Beach Right, especially my Lululemon. They're dry in a couple hours. As half the time, by the time I get back from the gym, my gym clothes are already dry. That's how fast they dry because they're not made of cotton. That being said, whenever I wash them in the when I wash them in the washer and then I hang dry my regular workout clothes, not my cotton ones, they're dry in 2 to 3 hours. I can usually take them and put them away. And then I'll go feel the rest of my clothes. And trust me, every time it's the cotton ones. They're not dry. They take overnight, sometimes even longer, and sometimes I'm forced to dry them. So, you don't want to have stinky workout clothes. You don't want to go to the gym and stink. You don't want to be stinky if you go out after the gym. And you want your clothes to last. You want them to last as long as possible. How do you do that? Don't work out in cotton. If you want to wear cotton for something else, it's comfy. But don't wear cotton to exercise. So here's what you should wear instead. Wear something like nylon, polyester, spandex, elastane, something that doesn't like water, something that is sweat wicking and wants to get rid of the water rather than to hold it in. Basically, you want the opposite of cotton. You want cotton's cousin he doesn't get along with. You can wear cotton wherever you want otherwise, but when you're going to the gym, I highly recommend something else. Like I said, Olo, Lululemon, Beach Riot, all of my favorite workout gear is not made of cotton, and that is on purpose. It is made of nylon. It is made of polyester. It is made of a lot of things, just not cotton. So, my name is Christy. That is my tip and trick for the day. Go out there and buy your non-cotton workout clothes and have fun.